previous videos we've looked at creating a tenancy and collecting rent from the tenant to pass on to the landlord. We've charged a letting fee for setting up the tenancy and a management fee for the rent collection. In this video we'll explore the process for paying funds out to the landlord and settling up any outstanding charges at the same time. Let's look at the landlord's overview to see the overall balance and what that comprises. In this example we've collected £1,000 of rent from the tenant and charged £100 for the management fee and £250 for a letting fee, both of which have had VAT applied. The rent in the client account minus the fees due to the agency's office account leaves an overall balance to pay out. However, it's important to note that as it stands the charges are still unpaid. We need to settle these and we can do so in one of two ways. Usually agencies will settle charges up at the same time as making the payout, and that's the easiest, but it's possible that you may want to pay a charge earlier in the month. For example, to pay a job charge so that a supplier account can be settled. From the property or landlord overview page, click the charge balance to see a list of the outstanding charges. Provided the property has sufficient funds, you can tick one or more charges and pay them immediately. But as I said, most agencies will settle the charges when paying the landlord. Click on the landlord and then click Pay Landlord. The screen shows you a summary of money held in the client account and the charges due to the agency, broken down by property. You have full flexibility here to pay out income and leave charges unpaid, but you generally wouldn't do that. So the easiest path is just to click Settle All, and this will set the values for you to settle all charges and just pay out the remainder. By default this shows you the balance on the current date, but you can change the balance date to any date in the past after your start date. If it's now the 7th or 8th of the month and you want to pay out what was on the landlord's account on the last day of last month, you should change the balance date to see the account balance on that last day of the month. You can then set today's date as the actual payout date or whatever date it was actually made. From the landlord view, it's also possible to pay charges using money from other properties within their portfolio. For example, if one property has charges but no income and other properties have surplus income, but the default is to treat properties independently and not share income between them. Choosing another landlord here with multiple properties in his portfolio shows this option. It's basically ticking a checkbox to allow charges to be paid by other properties. Processing that payment just works the same as normal, but looking at a statement for one of the affected properties highlights where funds have been shared between them. Having looked at making payments out to the landlord, it's equally possible to receive money from the landlord. For example, if they don't have any rental income and you need to pay a charge before any more income will be received from tenants. Alternatively, it may be a payment on account to maintain some sort of float. From the landlord screen, click Options, Receive Payment, and record a payment against one or more properties. This will then be stored as a credit on that property's account, and you can then use this to pay charges. When you make the payout, if you've stored a landlord email address on file, you can opt to automatically send a statement at the same time. You can actually send a statement to the landlord or any person at any stage via the relevant statement view. If we look at the landlord statement view here, you can print or email a PDF version, and you can choose whether or not to include supplier invoices and or agency fee invoices also. We recommend that you load up your letterhead style if you have one, as this will greatly improve the professional look and feel of your invoices, statements and letters. Search the help documentation for the word letterhead and you'll find a tutorial on that.